It's called the DDD, data drive decision making. Right, so basically what you're doing today, if I put into my framework in a business, okay, is I need to collect as much baseline data in a controlled environment as possible before I'm making decisions, right, okay? I can't give you any solution before I know what your environment looks like, your current state, okay? So I believe the best way is to digest. Like what you're doing today is like you're like a business consultant, right? Okay. First couple of ways will not give you any recommendations, but I need to get to know your diet, your lifestyle, your current state, where you aspire to be, what's your main challenge. Okay. Otherwise, I will probably give you the long solutions in my way. But who the heck am I, right? So I need to know understanding where you aspire to be. Right. Sometimes I believe when you're solving a problem, you need to make sure the problem aligns with client's aspiration. Otherwise, you're solving the problem based on your aspiration. You made a lot of mistakes before. Right? That's how I learn. Yeah, exactly. I usually say before you imagine you're climbing a ladder against the wall, you need to make sure this ladder against the right wall before you climb it. Otherwise, you climb as fast as you can, but it's a long wall. And I think today this kind of exercise, the measurement, really I think is quite brain opening. Like just think about, oh wow, okay, so that's how you digest, okay, the way how my machine looks like now.
Correct.
Right.
We're just gathering as much information as we can on how your body moves.
Yeah, my thinking about is like weightlifting is the main to the end, right? The end is not lifting heavy weights. The end is have this kind of vitality. You can have a freedom to do whatever things you want to do. Maybe after a couple of years I want to do swimming. Yeah, whatever things you want to do. So you're empowered to have a freedom to choose, right? Okay, so it's the main to the end. The end is not like carry weight everywhere where I go. So I usually ask myself, Lincoln, is that an illusion or is it a solution? A lot of time I sign up for illusion, right? Okay, so and I also think about, oh, they probably just try to sell you the lifestyle, but without knowing how much dedication and time they put it inside. I'm excited to look at how this program can help me close the gap.
So what are some of the things what's held you back?
Like a few things I found it quite challenging, or I believe we're all constrained by our time and energies in a day available, right? Yeah, okay. My primary focus is my energy preservation, right? Okay, so I want to optimize my time on the mat, okay, with the maximum output, right? Yeah, okay. And I try to use a different approach. Right, okay, I ask myself, okay, Lincoln, for next 3 to 5 weeks, yeah, you train as many sessions as you can. That's scenario one, right? Okay, which I trained over 10 sessions a week, right? Okay. And the second scenario is I try to reduce my session into 5 a week, right? With good qualities. Yeah, okay. And then
what quality?
In terms of me to have when I'm walking away the mat, okay, I feel empowered, not feel very sore. And then what I realized, the biggest, my needle mover. Okay, I believe I have a lot of blind spot I cannot see. The big needle mover for me is the recovery, right? Okay, so I found it, generally speaking, on the mat, if I have adequate recovery time, I found it I'm more intention, no movement, and instead of just put my back on a mat, right? Okay, yeah, okay, take it as it goes.
Moving with intention.
Exactly, yeah. And sometimes with adequate rest in between body recovery, I can feel into that flow state easier. Yeah, I call it flow state. I don't know how to.
That's
yeah,
I understand that.
Yeah, so
maybe it's like flow state is like your intention and your movements and timing all together.
Exactly, yeah. I've been able to more proactive instead of reactive to whatever things come at me, right? Okay, so yeah, okay, so but it also comes down to my restrictions with my body mobility. At the end of the day, I approach to the Jiu-Jitsu as a sport, and yeah, I could only optimize my technique at like certain level, and my body is the vehicle to deliver this technique, right? Okay, so in order to have this kind of movement, mobilities, I need to strengthen my vehicle. So that's why I just think about, I always use this time management skill is like urgency and then your time, right? Okay, I want to, in the downtime, I want to increase my capabilities. So that's, I think, I'm looking forward to get out of these programs, right? Okay, once, if my current capability is 100 milliliter, if you can increase to 1 liter, that would be good.
Can you think of something?
Oh yeah, it literally just happened on Wednesday. I forgot that guy's name. He asked me to help him to prepare his comp this Sunday. Decided to rolling with him, but for whatever reason, my lower back suddenly hit a nerve, and then I cannot move. Only thing I can do is basically just do the turtle on the ground. Yeah, I would say 80% of my movement being restricted within that 4 minutes round, right? Okay, so, and it took me almost 2 days off the mat, okay, so to fully recover, to stretch it out. And again, I think Jiu-Jitsu, for me, it amplified a lot of the challenge I use, right? Okay, for example, that's why I just think about, I treat this training like a system, like a machine. Any part of pain, restriction, it always show me some area, some compartment I need to look inside into, right? Okay, and I did some reflection. I believe because past 7 days, I had a really busy week. So I sitting a lot. Yeah, okay, that's my daily habit. Probably sitting too much, and then haven't been stretched enough, right? Okay, and once I put myself in this jiu-jitsu environment, it just amplify the lifestyle like I put myself into.
Have you ever experienced where power or strength?
So I want to do the bridge. Okay, so my hip strength and mobility is not there. As a result, I always stuck underneath it, right?
It's
so
frustrating.
Yeah, frustrating. It feels like I stuck in a box and then try to break out the box, the plateau. But in fact, it's not a technical plateau, it's more like a physical plateau. Body is not automatically execute the orders. It's like I more just think about like you're leading an army, and then you know exactly what happened, what you should do, but your body, the soldier, is not execute the order. And I will try to understand, okay, Lincoln, where is that blind spot? So a funny thing is before 2 weeks ago, I literally contact a couple of my friends, and they are like bodybuilders. I was talking to them about how can I increase my mobility, all that kind of stuff, right? Okay, of course, they going to use me, share with me some insight is really related to bodybuilding, looking good, sometimes not really functional.
So
But only chest and bicep. And then I was just like, yeah, good. Thank you. Let me buy a KFC. Yeah. So I think this program comes at the right time, at the times where I really need it. So what I think about, okay, maybe it's the way how I approach to Jiu-Jitsu now. It's more like my lifestyle shift, right? Okay. It's at the end of it, it's more my lifestyle choice. Like being growing with Jiu-Jitsu as opposed to doing Jiu-Jitsu, like being growing with Jiu-Jitsu. So my next question is, Lincoln, if this is your lifestyle shift, right? Okay, what are your daily habits? What your strength program need to align with this style shift, right? Okay, which I have no answer. Like for example, I use my old habit in terms of CrossFit, like lifting, powerlifting, but sometimes it doesn't serve me anymore, right? Okay, or it being limit contribution about what served me before, not necessarily going to serve me to the next journey, part of my journey. Like feel movement and insight could improve my strength and mobility. Practitioner is yourself. That's going to be just be my next needle mover. That's what kind of in my head.
What do you aspirationally or secretly maybe want to get out of the program?
Right. I believe 3 objectives I really want to get out of from this program. Again, I'm not looking for a quick fix, right? Okay, I'm much more looking for, first one is more like my intentional in terms of weight training, weightlifting. How can I shift towards more healthy, sustainable, towards specific, as opposed to like conventional commercial gym promoted? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Second one is exactly target to the randomness. I want really systematic approach to my problems instead of just, oh, what do I feel like doing today, right? Yeah, that's how usually my current training program looks like. I go into train the things I feel like doing, and I can see immediately problem with that. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to overcompensate my strengths and weakness as well. Third one, I'm more just like try to discover a couple of my blind spot, what I don't know, in whatever like strength training I'm doing now, right?
Oh, I feel it's long enough that I should have a plan. I can have a
Yeah.
plan. I can progress in a structured way
Yeah.
to achieve measurable outcome.
Yeah.
And they're not panicking, they're not reactive, and it's enough to change a habit or to get improvements in preparation. My thinking.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Because I mean, what do you think? Do you think 6 weeks is short enough that you can remain focused?
Yeah, so what I think about is, what you're thinking about now is a lot of times why try to finish a task. We talk about 80-20, right? Okay, majority of tasks is at the end of final times. Oh, we only have 2 weeks till the result being done. Let's smash it. I come down to this. I have a discovery recently about 2 games we usually play. One is called a finite game. One is called an infinite game. Finite game is like exactly what we're talking about just now. It's like, okay, Linc, we have 10 weeks or whatever, 6 weeks to finish this one. A to B, finite week. Yeah, so I think usually society condition us to faster, more efficient, stronger in finite game.
Deadline.
Yeah, deadline. Exactly, to be, right? Okay. Now, second mindset, which I think about currently, I try to adopt some of my life's aspect is infinite game. There's no finish line. There's no finish line, okay? But there's only one word, mastery, right? So, like cooking. Right? There's no finish line. You just basically improve it over time. And like no one care, no one watch. Okay, if you think it's good enough, that's good. If you think about this is your mastery, done. Right? Okay. And just to let you know, recently I started swimming. I'm the only 36 years old guy, Asian guy on the swimming pool. Everyone is like kids, right? I said, Linc, if you think this is good enough for your mastery, be it, right? Because no one can, no one watching. I am the only one saying it, right? Okay, so I was like, oh, that's good. So generally speaking, now I'm looking at if I switch into a lifestyle shift. I want to approach things in terms of infinite games, right? At least I take in Jiu-Jitsu now. Like I'm not looking for like particular milestone, something to achieve at. I just really good at want to master, be good at this thing, right? Okay, or be good at sucking it, right? Okay. If I'm going to get joke, I'm going to get choked joyfully, right? It's just like, oh, okay, that's good, right? So that's how I approach it. That's why maybe the times where you measure about 6 weeks, 10 weeks, right? I don't have really concrete ideas, right? Okay, so I'm more just thinking about, okay, if this particular program, right, okay, can help me towards my mastery, towards my body, towards to understand Jiu-Jitsu.
Why do you think people don't work on it?
Good question. I think it's come down to instant gratification. Like everything now, like we want instant result, instant noodle, instant like reach overnight, right? Okay, so same thing. The time when I'm doing a business consulting, they say, oh, Linc, okay, can you transform this thing like 5 days, right? Okay, so it's not going to happen, right? Okay, because you're going to come down to do, you can open the doors for me. So that's why I come here. I was just thinking about Brandon. They're going to share with you the insight. But at the end of the day, I need to take full responsibility myself, right? Okay, so nowadays people want to delegate, okay? So outsourcing their challenge pains to outsiders, but wouldn't take full responsibility on their problems. Okay, you guys going to share with me where I need to improve. However, it's come down to me to make it happen, right?
Is that accountability?
Accountability to an extent. Let me rephrase it. I think accountability sometimes could be people think about is very like burden heavy, right? Okay, but instead of what I think about accountability, what's responsibility? Because the responsibility is from inside out. Okay, I really want to improve my Jiu-Jitsu, right? Okay, I really want to take responsibility about if I decide to be a potato couch, I have a responsibility to be a best potato couch ever, right? But no one forced me to do Jiu-Jitsu per se. Now we all have a willpower, like freedom to choose, right? Okay.
Why do you think people don't look at this as a structured approach? Or maybe do you think it's too hard?
I think about 2 sides, right? Okay, what I think about is now a lot of programs or transformation programs being overused, overabused. So people probably in their background, in their mindset, like already say, oh, this is another 7-week transformation program. I call it always already listening. always already listening. It's like a background noise always happening in our back head. Okay, so they think about, oh, I saw it before. Yeah, okay, it is, right? But they never participated. Only until they really test it out. Because I was like talking to share with my friends about doing jiu-jitsu, all that kind of stuff, right? They usually have a really surface observation what it looks like, but they never actually
They never
try it, right? Okay, so and they always have this kind of pre-framing what it looks like.
30,000 foot view.
Exactly, yeah. Okay, so it's like people never been to China, but they already have a perception about what it means. So the best way is to pick out your bag, travel to China for 1 week, and you find it out. It's good or bad. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm not talking about jiu-jitsu. Talk about in general. Like before, when I think about swimming, I say, oh no, okay, I will be die like after 60 minutes, right? Okay, so because I'm drowning, right? Okay, no, okay, because I was scared, and then I was just like I had to confront my ego until the time when I stepped inside the pool, and I realized, oh yeah, it's not that bad. Okay, so I have similar philosophy talking about in my business. There are only two types of people who come to see me. Only two types. One is desperation. Okay, one is inspiration. Okay, people in the middle, they're too comfortable. They will never change. Okay, so not desperate enough to make it next move, right? My general observation with the people who really taking massive change about their lifestyle usually fit in these two, right? I think different people at a different age group or state, they probably have different aspirations, right? Because like draw me a person to this one is freedom to move, right? In my body, right? Let's digest it, okay, in terms of systematic approach, like what we discussed today, right? Okay, so it's not jiu-jitsu not working, it's my body not respond in the ways to cope with this sport. So let's figure out a solution. So I can close the gap, but not only close the gap, I can enjoy it more, right? So I think this is a second frame mindset, yeah, to able to empower people to take on this program.
But if you had a chance to give advice to the younger self of the what type of advice would you give that younger Linc?
I will go, and then I will definitely tell myself three things. One is you can see I'm very goal oriented, right? Okay, I usually get stressed about myself. The things not happen in my timing, right? Okay, oh, I need to be able to master this skill, right? Okay, so I will actually tell Lincoln, first one, really sit down to learn how you learn about skills. That's one question I never asked myself until I learned jiu-jitsu. I was like, okay, Lincoln, how do you actually learn? I never thought about this question ever before. So back down to when I hitting my plateau in my blue belt, like that part, okay, I was just thinking about, okay, why some technique can't retain in my skill set, right? I'm more systematic learner. But once I learn it, this become my identity. But now in my journey, how can I contribute to my teammate? Because at the end of the day, all they progress actually is a reflection of me, right? That lift, whatever things, right? You have a mirror in front. So how can I see myself? I could only see myself through my team training partner, right? How they progress also means I also progress. So I've been very happy about to see they progress. It means I progress as well. Yeah, it's very interesting. I was just like, give you a background, like when I was kids, okay, my parents sent me to play Chinese chess for 10 years. But I usually play with a lot of like older guys in the chess. They usually talking about your first couple moves going to determine your next like 10 to, but I was already young. I was like, hurry up. I need to go home to to lunch. But again, I found it very interesting, okay, in terms of how you retain information, how you, most important, how you, jiu-jitsu is more like how you do it without thinking it, right? Okay, so, but I found it very helpful for me to slow it down, to understand the mechanic side, how you move, okay, and in order to speed up, right? Okay. Every time I try to slow it down and I should understand the mechanic, how you move, like not necessarily the reason, but understanding the intention, objective, or the time one in real loading. So I found it, try to use 1% better, like this kind of mindset into my, how I approach to my business. A lot of my business associates ask me, oh, Linc, why do you spend so much time in training, right? Okay, because a lot of times business, everything is, we all start in the head, but what really works is can you execute it, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I try to choke anyone, right? They're not going to sitting there as you choke. They're going to moving. They're going to change, right? Okay. So it made me feel like, oh wow, this is life.